Let me tell you, John Offerdahl and Brian Cox are as different in personalities as two football players can be, but they're both terrific linebackers, and the Dolphins are certainly happy to have both of them.
John Offerdahl and Brian Cox are really two of a kind. They give you everything that they have to give. I mean, they leave it on the field.
How's your approach different than Brian Cox?
Brian is probably the opposite side of the coin. You know, it's amazing because we laugh about it when Brian gets going emotionally. I like that. I can feed off that, but it takes more energy for me to get out of my game plan to get him away from the refs than I care to admit. So it's kind of funny, though, because it's something that our defense needs, something that hasn't been there in a long time. You know, I really couldn't provide that.
John is much more laid back. He won't swear. I mean, I'm joking a lot. He tries to concentrate a little more. I'm like a little kid in the locker room before the game, and, you know, days before the game, I have to have fun, and I have to laugh, and I have to play, but, you know, during the course of the game, I'm like some kind of stark raving idiot out there. And it's, you know, I like to call it total mass destruction. Well, I have a temper and I have a mean streak, but, you know, I think it's controlled. I'm not mean and I'm not nasty off the field. I like to think I'm an easygoing, fun-loving guy, and, you know, I just enjoy life. But on the field, you know, you have to be mean. And football is not a job for nice people except for quarterbacks. And other than that, if you're on defense, you have to have an attitude.
I mean, this whole Buffalo thing, I mean, do you really hate these guys? I mean, why'd you say what you said?
You know, I'm serious about what I say. I have no reason or remorse or regret for anything about that incident except for the fact that the kids saw me in a light as a role model that wasn't very positive. And I think, you know, with the organization, I just don't feel good about them. And I just don't like them in any way, and I'll never regret that. I'll go to my grave saying that, and I've always said that if I was traded from the Miami Dolphins today to the Buffalo Bills, I wouldn't report I retired from football, and that's the honest to God truth.
Now, Coach Shula has a history of not being so tolerant of vocal, verbal guys. Has he spoken to you about, you know, your antics?
Well, yes, he has, but at the same time, he has told me he does not want to take away my aggressiveness, and you know, I just feel I speak from the heart. I'm not a phony person, and you know, I say what comes to mind, and that's just my personality, and I can't change that for anyone. I have to be Brian Cox. I'm a person. I'm not Neanderthal.
I don't want to take anything away from Brian Cox's enthusiasm and the way that he plays the game of football. We need that, but we have to try to curb the other thing. I want him to stay in games, not get kicked out of games.
If you had to choose a phrase or a word to describe you and Brian Cox, what phrase or word would you use to describe Brian, and what would you use to describe yourself?
The yin and the yang.
We don't need a name. I mean, we need a championship.
I can't tell you how important John Offerdahl is to this defense. When he plays, they tend to win, especially today. I think he's one of the best linebackers against the run. But to me, Brian Cox's attitude is the most valuable aspect of this defense, which is normally known as a finesse defense. I think his attitude is just as important to the Dolphins defense as Dan Marino's arm is to their offense. Two great linebackers, guys.
Oof. Strong words, Juice. As important as Dan Marino's arm, that means he means everything. Mike, it's one thing to have an attitude. It's another thing to be hitting the right people on the field. Does he play as well as he talks?
Well, I like the way Brian Cox plays the game. I don't like his actions off the field sometimes, but after listening to him, I respect him as a man for what he says. He stands up for what he says and what he believes, and that's fine. But I think that there's a way to treat the game of football. The game of football, to me, is a very special thing. Don't abuse it. So if you want to play the game hard, then live it right way off the field, too.
All right. Mike would have been tougher on Brian Cox.
Home in Cleveland. While Dan Marino, a man who has broken the Browns' hearts on several occasions, is seeking to pick apart the Browns' defense with his new-look offense. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Paul McGuire. This is a Miami team that has won 3 and lost 1. A Miami team that does have that new appearance, which starts in the backfield, which features a rookie by the name of Terry Kirby, who's off to a terrific start, and the former Philadelphia Eagle, Keith Byers.
So the interesting thing yesterday, talking to Dan Marino, and I asked him, you know, your two favorite targets. I don't have a favorite target. He said, but the two guys with the best hands on this team, Byers and Kirby, the two guys coming out of the backfield. But I think in all fairness to Ingram and to Fryer, and here are guys that are still trying to learn this system and are a little tentative. And I think that will all change as the season goes on. And it will be Bernie Kosar at quarterback, Vinny Testaverde waiting in the wings. We spent some time last night with the Dolphins defensive coordinator, Tom Olivedani. Now, he was telling us, though, that the Dolphins' major concern when they look at the Browns is the all-purpose back, Eric Metcalf. Well, when you look at Metcalf, let's go back about 3 weeks ago. We were doing the LA Raider game, and when they talked about Metcalf, the Raiders says, we have to stop Metcalf. They did it until the last series of downs. He ran a kickoff back, set him in good field position, scored the winning touchdown. So if you're going to shut this guy down, you better shut him down for the entire ball game. All right, Paul, the Browns have won the toss. They've won the toss for the first time this season, and they will receive the combination of Randy Baldwin and Leroy Hoare to await the kickoff from Pete Stoyanovich. The Browns at 3-1. The Dolphins at 3-1. And here's Baldwin. Out to the 25-yard line. Randy Baldwin returning the kick. Jarvis Williams on the tackle of Randy Baldwin. The Cleveland Browns with a revamped offensive line. If you go back to a year ago, it's Jones and Hoover, the rookie Everett center, Dahl, one-time Dolphin, Williams at the right tackle position. The quarterback is Bernie Kosar. And now Ron Wolfley opening up in the backfield. And when they go to the goal line or short yardage, James Jones comes in. James Jones normally lines up on the defensive end. So the Browns start out from the 26-yard line. And it's Wolfley getting the first call. Jeff Hunter on the stop. Check that, Tommy Vardell, the running back. I'll look at the Dolphins front seven. Cross, Klingbeil, Webster, and Jeff Hunter for the injured Marco Coleman. Brinsley, Offerdahl, and Cox are the linebackers. In the corners, Vincent and Brown, and the deep end of Williams and Oliver. When they go to the nickel, Vesti, Jackson, in most cases, will come on. It's a second down and 7 at the 29. Metcalf is flanked to the right, now in motion. Play action. And Vardell, off the reception, has a first down. A 13-yard pass play. Larry Webster made the stop. All right, he gets Hoover, 64 out in front of him. But watch what happens to the Miami defense. Watch the guys that miss him. There are going to be 4 guys in a pile. Not here. Here comes Hoover, 64. Watch right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5th guy finally makes the tackle. Tommy Vardell, Cleveland's #1 draft pick last season. He is 3rd in the AFC in rushing. First down at the 42 again. Number 21, Metcalf in motion. And it's Metcalf on an end around. Run out by Brian Cox. You are all familiar with Brian Cox and his lovely relationship with the city of Buffalo. Paul, I know you were trying to bait Brian yesterday, who said he loves Cleveland. He would not say anything at all negative about the city of Cleveland. Yeah, and I'll tell you, he doesn't like Tommy Vardell because that's the guy that just got into his face. He said, I love Cleveland. Yes. I've never said anything bad about Cleveland, but I do hate Buffalo. He's repeating that. He did make that point once again. It's a second down and 6. From the 46-yard line, we're just underway in Cleveland. Vardell in motion. Metcalf. Short of the first down. Tripped up by John Offerdahl. You know, there's the one guy that you must block. You have to block Offerdahl. If you don't block him, he's going to make the plays. You know, a couple weeks ago, I talked to Chip Kelly about one guy said, what about Offerdahl? He said, when you look at the film after the game is over, he's either making the tackle or he's around the ball on every single play.
John Offerdahl leading the Dolphins in total tackles. Injury hit the past 2 seasons. Last year missed 8 games because of an abdominal strain. It's a 3rd down and 2. And a penalty marker is down. Kosar completes for the 1st down with Michael Jackson. J.B. Brown, the right corner, made the stop.
Offside Miami.
Referee is Ed Hockley. In his 4th season as an NFL referee.
Offsides, number 79 in the defense. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
In terms of seniority, Ed Hockley would go down as the youngest NFL referee. In real life, Paul, he is an attorney. What an easy transition.
I'm not touching that one. Well, maybe a little later. I'll think of something.
It is a 1st down at the 41-yard line. And a reverse. Metcalf to Jackson. And Jackson will throw for Metcalf.
This ball and gain an awful lot of yardage. Here's the throwback. There's really nobody out here. Look at Birdie's out there. He was looking downfield to Carrier, 83. He was covered. So Jackson held the ball, saw Metcalf coming out of the backfield on the other side and threw it in. You talk about peripheral vision. He saw the whole field.
26-yard pass play and a 1st down at the 16. Carrier right, Jackson left, Metcalf with the hole. And knocked out of the 14.
We take a look at the play. Metcalf is not the primary target here. Watch when Metcalf comes out. Here he comes out. He's just going out into the flat. They let him go. He's a delay man. Now watch. Now when he turns up, he sees that there's nobody there, hoping that Jackson can find him. They see Metcalf down the sidelines. He catches the ball, slips. But what a great play.
Michael Jackson was originally recruited as a quarterback at Southern Mississippi. His quarterback at Southern Miss, a fellow by the name of Brett Favre.
Green Bay. That was quick. That wasn't quick, was it?
Good pickup, Paul.
Thank you very much.
And for Michael Jackson, his 1st pass in the NFL. His profile for Jackson. Touchdown! Well, Bernie Kosar, who has struggled the last 2 games, gets off to the quick start. A very good-looking opening drive by the Browns, who have not succeeded in the 1st quarter coming into today. A 14-yard hookup with Michael Jackson, who threw that beautiful pass to Eric Metcalf to help set it up on the receiving end for the touchdown.
Beating J.B. Brown. Did you see the guy up there congratulating Kosar, Testaverde?
And Stover putting it through. The Browns 7 and the Dolphins nothing.
One-on-one coverage on the right-hand side of your screen. J.B. Brown is the man being beaten. Number 37, Jackson gets up in the air. What a great pass and catch. Touchdown.
Cleveland with a good-looking drive. 8 plays, 74 yards in 4 minutes and 59 seconds to take the 7-0 lead. O.J. McDuffie, rookie from Penn State, native of Cleveland, back deep along with Mike Williams, and McDuffie will stay right there. Beautiful kick by Matt Stover.
All right, let's take a look at this play. Now right in here, you're going to see Metcalf. But later on down the field, we're going to stop because these guys here are going to be covering area right here. And when Jackson sees him covered, he's going to throw the ball back this way. Here we go. Metcalf hands the ball off. They leave him alone. And Jackson looks downfield first, and then he comes back to Metcalf. Stop it right here. Well, right here, you can see these two guys and this guy, they were out here on carrier. This left him open.
Good play. So the Dolphins start out at their 20, a backfield of Kirby and Myers. And it is Kirby stacked up. Anthony Pleasant led the charge for the Browns. Let's check out the lineups for Miami. Webb, Sims, Ulenek, Dellenbach, and Heller up front. Jeff Ulenek back from right knee surgery. The rookie from Virginia, Terry Kirby, Keith Byers in his 8th season out of Ohio State. Marino, the quarterback, and the receivers, Irving Fryer, Mark Ingram, Keith Jackson. Jackson in the lineup despite pulled hamstring when they go 3 wide. Tony Martin's been a favorite target of Dan Marino coming off the terrific Monday night game. Comes in as a 3rd receiver. Play action, and Marino goes sideline incomplete. Intended for Jackson. Emerson Walls on the cover.
Keith Jackson was looking for some, I think, a little pushing by Everson Walls. Now watch, right at the line of scrimmage. Walls hits him right there. Now he grabbed him by the face mask, and he's downfield. Here's what Jackson is looking at. That's hit. That ball, that should have been called pass interference. That's what Jackson was complaining about, because Everson Walls hit him before the ball got there.
Keith Jackson sat out Monday against the Redskins because of that pulled hamstring. He told us he's about 75%. It's a 3rd down and 10 from the 20. A wide open O.J. McDuffie has a 1st down. Eric Turner up from free safety to make the stop.
Well, when you send a blitz, now you have man-to-man coverage. Watch in the slot, you'll see O.J. McDuffie, 81. You see the blitzing up front? When you blitz, that puts you at man-to-man coverage all over the field. When you do that, Turner doesn't really have a chance.
Miami 1st down at the 31. Myers and Kirby are the running backs. Cleveland 7 and Miami nothing. Intended for Byers.
Boy, and I'm going to tell you something. Marino, we're going to check the defense, but Marino had the man he wanted. He just overthrew Byers.
Front 7 for Cleveland. Burnett, Jones, Perry, and Pleasant. Pepper Johnson in the starting lineup rather than David Brandon. Pepper Johnson with Mike Johnson and the 37-year-old Clay Matthews. In the secondary, Emerson Walls along with Najee Mustafa, Stephon Moore, Eric Turner. When they go to the nickel, Terry Taylor back from a knee problem. Checks in. 2nd down and 10 at the 31. And you see the flag. Was Rob Burnett, number 90, drawn off, or did he jump?
Ron Heller just stood straight up. Number 73.
False start. Number 73 of the offense prior to the start. Remains 2nd down. 5-yard penalty.
Once you get set, you see Heller set there. Hold it for a second, guys. See, he's set now. Now you can't move. Watch what he does. Hello. That's moving.
Ron Heller, free agent acquisition by Miami, spent the last 5 years with the Philadelphia Eagles. 2nd down and 15 from the 26. Back to the ground for Kirby. And they are able to smother him. Rob Burnett, James Jones combining on Terry Kirby, who on Monday against Washington ran for 94 yards, most by a Dolphin rookie since Sammy Smith ran off 123 yards against Indianapolis back in 1989. This is a 3rd-round draft pick, a steal from the University of Virginia.
It really is. In which Shula just, when we asked him about him yesterday, he just smiles and he said, "I can't believe he was still there." 220 pounds, can catch, and as Marino said, one of the better receivers on his team.
3rd and 14. There it is. Yes, Terry Kirby short of the 1st down. Mike Johnson made the stop.
One-handed catch. When you talk about soft hands, Kirby shows it to you. I mean, he's got just soft hands. The ball is thrown perfectly. Watch this. Watch Marino throws this on the left of the screen. Kirby, one-handed. Thank you. Johnson stays with it. They don't get the 1st down. Miami has to punt.
It went for 12, but short of the 1st down. Dale Hatcher will check in. And the always dangerous Eric Metcalf is back deep. Back at his 15-yard line. He's averaging 10 yards per return. Metcalf. Oh, he is hit down at the 30-yard line. Good coverage by the Dolphins. Jarvis Williams made the stop.
ABC is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing, always Coca-Cola. By Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By your Allstate agent for home, auto, life, and business insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Very tasty ball. Yes.
Whoa, that's now we're looking at some stuff that's tasty.
Welcome back to Cleveland Stadium. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. Jim Brown on the Cleveland sideline once again, so he has been in attendance at all 5 Browns games. First down at the 31, Browns 7, and the Dolphins nothing. Michael Jackson will catch the ball. Now you're thinking of him as a passing threat off that nifty toss earlier this first quarter.
Yeah, well, it's tough to throw from where he is right here. Troy Vincent, 23, excellent play. Jackson catches the ball. Vincent's there to make the stop for about a 2-yard gain. You know what Cleveland's doing? They're coming out in the triple formation, putting 3 receivers to one side. Now, when they went to Indianapolis, Indianapolis did that to them and beat them with it. So that it works for someone else. Why not us use it? They're doing it here.
Leroy Horde is checked in. Kosar is 4 of 4 for 38 yards. Second down and 8. Kosar off the run, able to hit Metcalf. And he's just shy of the first down. Jeff Cross, the left defensive end, made the stop.
This is a rollout with a screen right in front of you. You don't see it that often. And what Kosar, when you see him rolling out, you know he's not running, not intentionally. Here he goes. He rolls out. You see Metcalf 21 sneaking up inside. Now he's setting himself in the screen. Bob Dahl is there to block for him, number 72, and the play picks up about 6.
It's a 3rd down and 2 at the 39. Cleveland Browns began the season at 3-0. First time since 1979 that they started that well. Wins over Cincinnati, San Francisco, and the Raiders. Lost at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. They had a bye week last week. And Bernie Kosar calling for a timeout with 5:33 to go. First quarter. Overhead, the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear providing aerial views for today's game. And right here, let's take a look at the natural gas quarterback efficiency ratings. And Marino, number 5. And Bernie Kosar, who's had his difficulties, particularly here at, particularly on the road, is number 10. In the AFC quarterback ranking.
A couple of road trips he'd like to forget.
Yes, he was lifted in the game in Los Angeles. Vinny Testaverde off the bench and picked up the win in relief. And Testaverde came on against Indianapolis, but was not able to do much there. Vardell is hit. So Vardell made the catch, but was met by the strong safety, Jarvis Williams.
All they were looking for is the first down. They had 3rd down and about 2. They got Vardell out into the flat. One-on-one coverage with the safety, Jarvis Williams, and they pick up the first down.
So the Browns with the first down at the 42-yard line as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Head coach Bill Belichick in his 3rd season as head man. He has gone 6-10 and 7-9 off to the 3-1 start. Kosar off the roll. Goes across the field to Vardell. Got a stiff on his way. Got to the 44. Met by the combination of Brian Cox and J.B. Brown.
What a great play by Brian Cox. You cannot play linebacker any better than this. Watch this. The flow goes away. And watch what he does. He is the guy that's going to make the play for about 2-yard gain. He gets by the guard, and look at this. Is that outstanding linebacker play or not?
Cox has become the emotional leader of the Miami defense. Vaulted into the Pro Bowl last year. It is only his 3rd season out of Weston, Illinois. 14 sacks last season. 2nd down and 7 at the 45. Goes on 7-7 to 49 yards. Make it 8 of 8. complete and a first down for the Browns. Michael Jackson with the leaping catch, spun around by J.B. Brown.
Michael Jackson makes a great adjustment. He slips when he makes his cut and gets back up to get the ball. Just total concentration. Michael Jackson makes an outstanding play. Here he is on Brown again. JB, watch this. He is going to slip just a little bit there. See him slip, and then he maintains his balance, gets back up, and makes the play. And Bernie Kosar is on fire.
And it should be mentioned that it is now Michael Jackson, no longer Michael Dyson. That episode has concluded. You recall earlier this year, he changed his name to Dyson in respect to his father. Here's Kosar. That play fake did not fool the Dolphins. And he's brought down by Jeff Hunter. Jeff Hunter, number 97, starting for the injured Marco Coleman.
There's an interesting play call here, because what they were with the Cleveland Browns were is their short yardage offense. Take a look at this. We've got 73 RV on the line as a tight end, and there's only one receiver going downfield. So Kosar, if that receiver isn't open, he has to run, and we know that Bernie can run. He can throw, but he can't run.
It is a second down and 15 at the 49-yard line. Cleveland 7 and Miami nothing with 2:40 remaining, first quarter. Kosar with the protection, and that is his first incompletion intended for Jackson. Brown on the cover.
You know, you keep seeing Michael Jackson on short routes. There was one on the outside, and now the second one here. He's on J.B. Brown, 37 down here. Little short route for Michael Jackson here. Okay, don't get lulled into that, because this is when he'll just let him turn and go. And if he sees that one-on-one coverage, Brown will be still standing there as Jackson goes by.
A play of the drive. Patrick Rowe is now flanked to the right side. Mark Carrier in the slot. Michael Jackson to the left. They're going with 4 wideouts. The other receiver is Lawyer Tillman. Look out, and Kosar hauled down. Sacked by Brian Cox. That's his second sack of the season. Larry Webster also involved, but a flag has been thrown.
This play just took too long to develop. The blitz was on. The receivers have to read it. And it was movement by Cleveland. They're going to have to punt the ball. But I was watching Michael Jackson going downfield. He was way down. He's too far down. It was third down and a lot, about 15. And the play goes too far. Here comes Cox now, Brian. Being held and gets the sack. That's a solo sack. He had him first.
Larry Webster came over. Larry Webster, the starting right defensive tackle, missed the team plane yesterday. Came in last night. Don Shula was not at the airport.
And he paid for his own ticket.
Yes, he also will be fined. It's a minor fine. It's fine. Yes. Brian Hansen's punt ends up right around the 25-yard line. It's a 34-yard punt. Larry Webster, though, does get frequent flyer mileage. That should be taken into account, as opposed to had he taken the charter ball. 2:19 remaining. First quarter, Cleveland with a 7-0 lead on Miami. Just a moment ago, Brian Cox came up with his second sack of the season.
and a half a headache. That's Marco Coleman, wasn't it? Giving him a hug.
Marco out with the fractured left hand. So the Dolphins back to the offense. Byers is stopped.
In order to run inside on the Cleveland Browns, because they are so strong in the inside with Perry and Ball and others, Burnett, Pleasant, you've got to run outside first. Or you have to throw some short passes outside first to get those guys to move out of that middle. When you have Perry and Ball in the middle, it's very difficult to run there.
Miami second down at 9. The ball just inside the 30-yard line. Myers and Kirby are the running backs. Marino with the time. And completes for the first down and more. Tony Martin, who was the target on Monday night against Washington, was was able to make the catch, his first of the day. Emerson Walls on the stop.
Well, Marino said that this guy has really developed into a great receiver, and there is a reason for it. Watch Barton come down now. He's going to make that break to the inside. Slips one-on-one coverage on the outside. He beats Terry Taylor and picks up the first down. Marino said, you know, once they went out and got Ingram and Fryer, it made him a better player because he knew he had to work harder to get a job.
He told us he did work harder, went to the weights. He's a stronger player. 17-yard pickup. Marino firing deep downfield. A penalty flag is down. Mark Ingram involved with Najee Mustafa. Najee Mustafa playing with an injured shoulder. Najee, formerly Reggie Rutland, one-time Minnesota Viking, made it back from major knee surgery, starting at the right corner position, and he was in the coverage with the one-time Giant Mark Ingram.
Saved the touchdown. He did. I mean, it's a penalty for holding, but he did the right thing. He grabbed Ingram because it would have been touchdown. Ingram was going on by. Marino was throwing deep. Mustafa grabbed him. Now what are they going to call? Holding? If it's a holding penalty, it's 5 yards. If it's pass interference, it's there. Now what do we have? Officials are going the other way. Where are we going? 5-yard penalty, holding.
Holding on the defense, number 48. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See, here's the difference between holding and pass interference. It would have been pass interference. Now the ball would have been down probably by the 30-yard line. Now it's just at about the 48-yard line. But Mustafa did a great job by grabbing him, Ingram, and saving a touchdown.
It'll be a 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 48. Marino went short range for Byers, and he is stopped at the 45 by the middle linebacker, Mike Johnson, along with Pepper Johnson. Well, this first quarter coming to a close, and Miami so successful over the first 4 games, as you can see during the course of the first quarter, not able to do it here today. While the Browns able to turn it around, they have had their problems in the first quarter. It's a 2nd down and 7 at the 45. Again, a short pass, bobbled and held by Byers. Nice play for the first down, but a penalty marker is thrown.
Did you watch that catch? That's all one-handed. That was a great catch by Byers. We talked at the beginning of the show about the best hands on the team are the 2 running backs. We saw Kirby catch a one-handed pass from Marino, and Byers back on the other side of the field does the same thing.
Number 98 lined up in the neutral zone. The penalties decline. First down.
That was Anthony Pleasant, the right defensive end, but the penalty declined, so it is a first down for Miami.
And here's a one-handed catch. He about left hand, knocks it over to the right hand, makes the catch. Matthews is there. First down, Miami.
So after 1 here in Cleveland, it's the Browns 7, the Dolphins nothing. Back in Cleveland, Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. Don Shula has many memories of Cleveland Stadium, going back to his days as a football player and a student at John Carroll University here in Cleveland. He was telling us last night, he said at the time, if you wore your leather jacket to Browns games at the stadium, you'd get in for only 50%, and they'd seat you in this area, which is now the dog pound. Things a little calmer at that stage. There's Marino going incomplete as the second quarter gets underway, intended for Irving Fryer. So Don Shula's roots go back to the dog pound, although these days at times he is the target of some good-natured barking, I would think, from that area.
Well, and before the game, he went down there and said hello to the people down there. But you know what? I really think about that whole conversation about the dog pound, about the letter jacket. I think he just let us know that he did win a letter.
Yes.
I mean, that's the only reason he would say it.
God really used the respect from us too.
That's right.
It's a 2nd down and 10 at the 34. Marino is 5 of 8, 54 yards. Short set. a timing pattern and obviously some miscommunication.
Well, you want to talk about miscommunication. Tony Martin never left the line of scrimmage. And Shula has got to be out of his mind, and so is Marino. I mean, look, watch this at the bottom of the screen. Here's they're going to see the throw. All right, if we take a look at this guy here. Well, my telestrator is not working. I have my finger going, but
I like
all right, at the bottom of the screen, look at it. Watch the play. Here's Martin standing there. He's at the 35. He's at the 35. He's still at the 35.
Paul, this is so disappointing because you come off a career day at the telestrator last week.
My finger's not working.
It's a 3rd down and 10 at the 34. Now Marino going deep for Martin, overthrows. Mustafa on the coverage of Martin.
Marino just threw that ball 55 yards into the end zone, into the corner to Martin. That time Martin went down the field, but Mustafa went along with him.
Tony Martin, originally a draft pick of the New York Jets. He was a quarterback in college at Mesa in Colorado. This will be a 52-yard field goal attempt by Pete Stoyanovich. 5 for 7 on the season. It is good. It's spun through.
And they may give him 53 yards on that kick.
So from 52, Stoyanovich able to connect. Well, coming up next on most of these NBC stations, game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the Raiders host the New York Jets. Boomer Esiason off to the good start. And the return by Leroy Horn. Horn reaching near the 25-yard line. How about the Rocket Ismail? Big bright spot despite the loss to Kansas City. So most of you will see the Raiders and the Jets, or San Diego and Pittsburgh, New England and Phoenix. We suggest you check your local listings for the game in your area.
We won't get a game in this area.
All right.
Because they're sold out.
And you just provided the proper disclaimer.
Well, I'm just trying to help these people out. I don't want to run home and try and find a game that's not going to be here.
Not in the Cleveland line.
That's right.
All right, first down at the 25-yard line. Bardell. John Offerdahl and Larry Webster combined to make the stop. It is 7-0 Cleveland off that good opening drive engineered by Kosar. Dallas with a 14-0 lead. How about Cincinnati in front of Kansas City? The Chiefs with Dave Craig for the injured Joe Montana, and the Giants 7-0 on Washington in the second quarter.
Here we are again, Cleveland with this short yardage, basically short yardage offense. Harvey is lined up as a tight end, number 73.
This for a 2nd and 7. The fullback Bardell is stopped once again.
Well, and the people don't like it either. You take Herman Harvey, number 73, and you put him in the back on a line. Then you have Wolfley as a fullback blocking, and then you also have Bardell. So you don't have a whole lot of speed on your offense. And here's Harvey over here. Take a look at and now Bardell's going to get the ball. They're going to just try to jam it in here. Doesn't do much. Here it comes. Wolfley goes in. Bardell goes up. Harvey doesn't make the block on Hunter, and Hunter makes the play.
Harvey is a 5th-round draft pick, a rookie from Grambling, who has been lining up frequently in the tight end position in short yardage. And once again, Bardell is stopped. So this drive goes nowhere. Dwight Collier was there. Make the stop.
Keep in mind, Marv, Bernie Kosar is not calling the plays. He's looking to the bench, and they get the plays, but he does have the ability and the option to audibilize. But when you put offensive linemen at tight end, there's not many options you have. You've got to run the ball, I would think.
So the punting unit has come on. Brian Hansen will punt to O.J. McDuffie. McDuffie back at his 20-yard line. It's a short punt. Fair catch for McDuffie. The punt goes 31 yards. 12:18 remaining second quarter.
On NBC is brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. By Xerox, the document company. See your documents differently. See your business differently. By Hager wrinkle-free cotton pants. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles. And by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural. Proud to be your Bud.
Well, the dog pound here in Cleveland, always a pleasant place to visit when you're passing through town. You have a strange feeling when you think you've seen a familiar face. No, it couldn't have been. Who? No.
No, come on, it was the big guy.
First down at the 37-yard line. That's Kirby with the change of direction. And a flag thrown. Stephon Moore made the stop.
They got a holding penalty, and maybe on Keith Byers, I'm not sure. Number 41, Kirby went up in the play. But there's definitely a holding penalty. We know that against Miami. This is coming back.
Holding on number 85 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
He said 85, and that's Ronnie Williams, who was a tight end. But it may be 65. Dellenbach. I think it's 65. They got the numbers crossed. That is Dellenbach, because Ronnie Williams had been hurt for him. He wasn't in the game.
Sets it back to a 1st and 20. And Myers off the screen pass, stopped by Stephon Moore. Still short of a first down. That goes for 13. Now for an update, let's go to Jim Lampley in New York.
Thank you, Marv. Earlier we told you about Charles Barkley's collapse at last.
Thank you, Jim. It's a lot of responsibility, Paul.
I would think so.
Second down and 6 from the 41-yard line. Here's Kirby and has the first down. Everson Walls made the stop.
You know, when you talk about Metcalf, you have to shut him down, but you better shut down this guy here, Kirby, coming out of the backfield. Not only is he a great runner with the ball on running plays, but watch this. When he goes out into the flat, there's nobody with him. He's alone right now and gets the ball. Watch after he runs. He is so powerful. He weighs 220 pounds. They pick up the first down.
Eric Kirby emerging as one of the AFC's best all-purpose backs. The two running backs, Kirby and Myers, have 5 of Miami's 7 completed passes. Play action. Marino could not find anybody, and now does. Myers with a nice catch down at the 44-yard line. Pepper Johnson got him out of bounds.
Michael Dean Perry, we really haven't mentioned his name, and there's one reason on this play is because Dellenbach, number 65, was holding again, and they didn't call it. I mean, he was absolutely holding Perry. He had him by the jersey. On the left-hand side of the screen, Perry is 92. Now watch as he tries to go around. Left-hand side, see 65? He's got him by the shirt and then pulls him down.
Dellenbach at right guard, moved from center to right guard, replacing the injured Burt Widener, who was back in action. Second down and 3. A galloping move and short of the first down. Kirby. Jerry Ball made the stop.
Yeah, Jerry Ball. Ulick was trying to block him, the center, and Jerry Ball just spinning into the hole. But you got Perry and Ball, 92 and 93. The little cross. Look at this. He's being held. Watch what he does. He backs into the ball carrier and knocks him down.
Combination of crush and rush. Michael Dean Perry and Jerry Ball. And one time, many considered Jerry Ball as one of the NFL's premier nose tackles, but Detroit last year did have a weight problem, ballooned up, and made the move to the Browns. It's a third down and 3, and that's a first down pickup. O.J. McDuffie, who has really worked his way into the Marino repertoire the last couple of weeks, goes for 17, covered by Walls, as McDuffie makes his second catch of the game.
You got 4 receivers in the game. O.J. McDuffie happens to be one. Marino looks to his right first and then comes back. Watch how wide open O.J. McDuffie is. He was behind the defense. They get the first down. Now, you know, they're making everyone in Miami forget the Marks brothers. These guys, just like, where did they play?
It is a new look with the departure of Mark Cooper and Mark Clayton. The likes of Fryer, Ingram, and Martin, and McDuffie, and the 2 running backs. Again, the play fake and the end around for Martin.
You want to see outstanding defense? I'm telling you, Pepper Johnson played this play. He was blocked by 2 people and made the play. Pepper Johnson was absolutely unbelievable on this play, number 53. He's a linebacker on the outside. I believe this is Pepper here. And watch what happens. He follows the play, goes back to the outside. Here he comes out. Now watch. Hold on. Right. No, keep going a little bit further, guys. Right here. The 2 guys are blocking him here. Watch what he does.
Down at 4, the Cleveland 22.
He gets through the blocks and makes the play. That is outstanding.
Paul regaining the telescopic touch.
Fingers working, baby.
Yes, second down and 4 at the 22-yard line, and the Dolphins take a timeout. 8:11 remaining. First half, Cleveland with the 7-3 lead. The Goodyear blimp floating above, giving us a spectacular view of Cleveland Stadium, city of Cleveland. The Goodyear blimp Spirit, based in Akron, Ohio, just a few miles down the road from here. Paul, you might want to visit during the second half.
Well, you think it's going to get bad? I'm staying.
Oh, you're sticking around.
I'm staying with you.
Okay.
There's an interesting stat in this game. You know, Miami, 100 yards passing. They have 8 yards rushing. You know who has 6 of those 8? Wide receiver, Martin. So, I mean, that 8 yards is 6 of it by a wide receiver on that last play, that reverse. So, they're not running the ball. But, you know, when I did the game in Buffalo with Buffalo against Miami, we're talking to Marv Levy, and Marv Levy said about Miami, he said, we want to shut down the running game, but not shut it down too well, so we have them passing all the time. And that's what the problem is. They got Marino throwing the ball.
Marino 9 of 14, 100 yards, looking at a 2nd and 4 down at the 22. Off the pitch out, Kirby stopped short of the first down. Again, it's Pepper Johnson. Pepper Johnson spent 7 years with the Giants, signed with Cleveland as a free agent. The Giants' leading tackler 4 of the past 5 years.
Yeah, but Mustafa's the guy. Watch 48, Najee Mustafa. He sets it up, and he makes Kirby cut back inside to Pepper. As the corner played the play extremely well. That only went for a yard.
3rd down and 2 at the Cleveland 20.
Bad 2.
It's a 3rd and 2 at the 20. Kirby and Byers, the running backs. Marino with the bullet pass for the first down. Hooking up with Mark Ingram. Everson Walls on the stop. So the Dolphins with a first down.
No chance to defend this. When you see where the pass is thrown, the only guy to catch it is Ingram. And, I mean, he zips this thing in. This bullet right inside. Look at this. And Everson Walls is right on Ingram. But no chance, because Marino hit him right in the numbers.
Ingram frustrated about Monday night's game against Washington. He was called for a motion penalty. Also thought he should have caught a ball in a critical situation. That his first catch of today. Again on the pitch, Kirby could not make the turn. He tried to cut back inside.
But the defense is just playing extremely well. Anthony Pleasant, number 98, is an end that gets outside. And there's just no blocking out there. They're not blocking the corners. And when Kirby gets out there, watch who's out there with him. Number 98 will be there. There's just no blocking here. Pleasant comes up, makes the play.
2nd down and 10.
It's a 2nd down and 10 at the 13-yard line as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Round 7. The Dolphins 3. Marino throwing for the end zone. Touchdown. Mark Ingram with his 2nd touchdown as a member of the Dolphins. And Miami has taken the lead. It's a 13-yard touchdown.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. Everson Walls had no chance. There is just no chance to play. Here out on the outside. side. And when you see where this ball is thrown, when Ingram goes down, the corner's going to turn with his back, and the ball is just thrown right over top of his head. There's just no chance for the defense. Here it comes. Watch on the top side. And look where the ball is thrown. You see the coverage is perfect right there. But the ball goes right over top of the head. The defender, touchdown.
Pete Stoyanovich puts it through. 10 plays, 63 yards, and that consumes 6 minutes and 17 seconds. So Miami with a 10-7 lead on Cleveland. A reminder tonight, don't miss an all-new eyewitness video hosted by John Forsythe, and then Roy Scheider leads his crew in an all-new adventure on Sequest, followed by, from the producer of Roots, North and South, and the Thornbirds, comes the NBC world premiere movie The Flood, based on a true story. That's tonight here on NBC. The kickoff return by Baldwin. Randy Baldwin accelerates across the 25-yard line. Right now, let's get back to Jim Lampley at our New York studio.
All right, Marvelous, and in what was shaping up as the day's biggest surprise, Cincinnati had a 9-0 lead over Kansas City before that touchdown pass moments ago from Dave Craig to Tim Barnett. So now the Chiefs are back in it at 9-7 down, and Craig looks a little better. We take it back to Marvin Paul.
Thank you, Jim. It'll be the Browns starting out from their 28-yard line. Miami with a 10-7 lead on Cleveland.
Somebody get Metcalf in the game.
Good kickoff return. Baldwin going for 28 yards. Kosar in trouble. Kosar able to put away and then is hit down. The ball is blown dead. Brian Cox with his second sack of the afternoon.
And a bad dance. I mean, the guy's got the bad dance. Brian Cox makes his second sack, but afterwards it's terrible. Bernie's just looking downfield. First of all, no one's open. Kosar is looking downfield to try to find a receiver, and nobody cleared. So Kosar is just trying to get out of trouble, and here comes 51. Cox makes the play, gets up, and watch his legs. I mean, a bad dance here. I don't understand it.
From Arthur Murray. I know Brian will do some heavy work on it after your
like he cares.
That's the third sack of the day by the Dolphins. Cox with 2, and Jeff Hunter making his first NFL start for the injured Marco Coleman has won a loss of 8. It's a second down and 18 back at the 20. And here's Metcalf. Well, give it to Eric. And he runs it out of bounds. Eric Metcalf on that inside handoff run out by Jarvis Williams.
Picks up the 10 yards. Again, I said you've got to get him into the game, whether you're going to hand him the ball or throw him the ball, but Metcalf is the guy. Alibadati told us, the defensive coordinator for Miami, you have to stop this guy, and Metcalf gets some excellent blocking, gets to the outside, picks up about 11 yards on the play. Get back to him.
There is Tom Alibadati. He was an assistant here with the Browns back in 1985 and 86 under Marty Schottenheimer. It's a third down and 8 at the 30-yard line. Miami 10 and Cleveland 7 with 4:40 remaining. First half. Now Kosar to throw. Oh, battling for the first down, Lawyer Tillman, and was able to stretch it out.
Lawyer Tillman gets his first down. He had to stretch for about 2 yards, and that's just heads-up play. Knowing where you are in the field. Kosar goes down, and he's looking around downfield, and watch Tillman. He's at beyond it there. Now he's about a yard away, and watch what he does. Keeps his legs driving, picks up the extra yard.
The stat line on Bernie Kosar, 10 for 11, 70 yards. First down at the 40. Bardell comes across. Carrier with nowhere to go. It is a loss on the play. J.B. Brown was right there from his right cornerback position.
You're seeing some outstanding defensive play by corners and linebackers, and that time J.B. Brown is just, I mean, it was unbelievable. Look at Bernie, the completion by length. 10-9. I mean, it's just over 20 yards, none. I mean, it's you're not going to beat Miami doing this. if you're going to throw the short stuff, again, get the ball in the hands of Metcalf and let him run with it.
11 for 12, only 69 yards. That has been the scenario this season with Bernie Kosar. Second down and 11. Again, an inside handoff. And again, Metcalf has stopped. You can hear the crowd reaction.
Well, they're booing. One of the things you hear booing, you want to get the ball to Metcalf, but you don't want to get the ball to Metcalf, try to get him running up the middle, because he's really is easy to bring down. So if you're going to run Metcalf, get him to the outside where he has some room to cut, to maneuver, pick up some blocks. But running him up in the middle doesn't get much.
President and owner of the Cleveland Browns, Art Modell, has not been a happy guy during this first half.
Well, he was happy on the touchdown.
That was early, a very impressive opening drive, but since then, Miami has held the ball, first of all, for a long time. Here's Metcalf. He fell down. He fumbled. And the Browns lost the ball. Dolphins recover.
Oh, man. I tell you, Metcalf is open. He not only has the first down, he trying to run too fast. He slips and falls, but when he falls, not even hit, drops the football. I mean, when it goes bad, it goes real bad.
Bruce Alexander on the recovery.
Here it is, Metcalf. It's a screen. They're trying to get him through. He gets an excellent block downfield. Watch this. His feet go out, then he loses the football. He has a chance, even falling, he could have been able to get up and make the first down, because all he has to do is get to the marker on the left-hand side. He just drops the ball and never gets back to it.
Bruce Alexander, backup defensive back, able to pounce on it. Dolphins take over. First down at the Cleveland 46 as we approach 2 minutes remaining. First half. To the tight end, Keith Jackson, and he pulls his way for a first down and more. Eric Turner, the free safety, finally got him down.
Emerson Walls, they're going to run this back in the meetings for a long time. Jackson just slips out underneath. They let him go across the middle. Nobody touches him. But watch what he does at 28. Can you stop this, guys? Right about here. Whoa. There goes Emerson Walls.
Hold yourself, Paul. First catch of the day for Jackson. Well, a look at the new baseball stadium, it's located right near Cleveland Stadium. They'll be ready to go. This will be the new home of the Cleveland Indians starting next season. They'll seat in the area of 42,000, and right next door, the Cleveland Cavaliers will eventually move to this arena. They're now located downtown in Richfield, Ohio. We were not able to get a shot as part of this project. There will be a Mike Fratello Czar of the Telestrator amusement kiddie park, which we'll get into at a later date. Here's Marino unleashing and completes to Irving Fryer. Another first down, and Marino is now 13 of 18. He's completed his last 8. A reminder coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka. And they'll take a close-up look at Boomer Esiason. Boomer off to the good start for the New York Jets, who will play in the second half of our doubleheader against the Raiders in Los Angeles. Terry Kirby broke a tackle. Penalty marker down as Kirby was able to move inside the 10.
He picks up 6 yards. They're gonna penalize here because he picks up 5 yards. Cleveland's offside. But you see these guys slipping and falling. That's the old infield. They just sodded this as the season ended about a week ago. And so they asked, how long does it take to seal and to hold? About 2 weeks. So that's a week ago, and they're sliding all over the place. Now they don't have to worry about taking it up anymore, do they? Because they got a new baseball stadium.
98 in the defense. 5-yard penalty for repeat first down.
Anthony Pleasant, in his 4th year out of Tennessee State, called for the penalty. It'll be a 1st and 5 at the 9. So Dan Marino on fire. 8 consecutive completions. Miami driving for another score. They lead Cleveland 10-7 with 1:23 left in the half. Marino in trouble. Down he goes. James Jones will get credit for the sack.
Marino wants to go to a hurry-up offense right now because the clock is running down, and we're 1 minute and 17 and counting, and it's only second down. You want to get too big of a hurry and make some mistakes. Marino was sacked. Jones was there. No one was open. Credit to defensive secondary.
Second and 16, and Marino goes short range to Kirby. Nice head fake thrown by Terry Kirby. Mustafa able to get him out of bounds.
Marino is hurt, and I'll tell you one thing, what an excellent block they got with Fryer downfield. But Marino, before this play, he jumped when he turned. I don't know if he got hurt here or the play before this, but they're looking at his leg. When Marino steps up, see right there where that move he made, now he's hit. But I think he did it to himself. I think he turned himself when he stepped up.
Paul, during the course of his 11-year NFL career, Dan Marino's been a very sturdy quarterback. The backup is Scott Mitchell, who we're told has been bothered by a virus in his eye. But they are continuing to check out Dan Marino.
All right, if we go back and take a look at it, Mark, watch his right foot. I think this is where he twists it when he steps up. All right, take a look down in here and watch when he moves up. You see it? Let me clear this out of here. Okay, he turns his ankle. I don't think it was because he didn't get hit and he didn't go down. Go ahead and finish the play. You see James Jones is there. All he does is move off, and then he starts to limp. You think these guys aren't concerned about Marino? All right, here we go again. He twists it. It looks like right here is where he catches himself in the grass. Now there's Jones. He gets up and he throws. Jones basically just bumps him and lets him go. Now watch him. He doesn't twist his ankle or anything, and he just goes down. So he was hurt before that.
Paul, I mentioned Scott Mitchell as the backup who has rarely played. Last season threw only 8 passes, completed 2. He's in his 4th year out of Utah. And if something should happen to Scott Mitchell, the Dolphins' emergency quarterback is wide receiver Tony Martin, who was a quarterback in college and has not seen much action at the QB position in recent years.
All right, here's Marino. When he steps up, there's where he turns it. See that? You can just see where his leg it slips. He gets caught in the grass. I mean, the rest of his body is going forward, and his right leg is going out to the right. See where it's caught right here? That's where he turns it.
And Dan Marino being helped off the field.
You can see Marvin, he can't even really get his foot down. I mean, that thing is hurt.
And it is Scott Mitchell in the huddle now. He is a southpaw. He goes 6'6", 230 pounds, and he has come on for Dan Marino. O.J. Simpson on hand with us here today, and as soon as O.J. is able to secure the information, we'll pass that report on to you regarding Dan Marino. It's a 3rd down and 6 at the 10, and here's Mitchell throwing on 1st down, and he's picked off. Mustafa will go all the way.
What an outstanding play by Mustafa. He just stepped up and took the ball, and he was gone. He really had no one there. That is the big problem with throwing that pass on the outside. If you know something, Marv, at the beginning, if the Dolphins would have centered the ball 1 second earlier, they would have had Cleveland offside. Cleveland was in a position where the down lineman on the right defensive side was offside and then got back. And then you try to throw that pass all the way across the field. When you try to throw that pass, it's a long way to go. Here you come in off the bench cold. It's a cold day to begin with, and then try to throw the pass that you don't throw down here anyway. That wide out pass.
crossed over with the extra point. But the play of the game, Najee Mustafa running it back on the interception, 97 yards for the touchdown.
All right, now, I want you to take a look right here. Watch what happens. This guy goes offside, and he gets back. If the ball's snapped, they got him offside, but they don't. The defensive end gets back, and here's where all the trouble begins. You're throwing wide to the outside. The receiver slips. Let's go back here. And you watch this when he throws to the outside. Look at how far he has to throw the ball. Now, the receiver does slip. Mustafa's there. That's Fryer. But this whole sideline is just, all they're saying, don't flip, don't do anything. Nobody's going to catch him. You don't have to block anybody. Just stay away from him. What an outstanding play.
And that is the longest interception return in the history of the Cleveland Browns. And we're talking a glorious history. Najee Mustafa, formerly Reggie Rutland, for 97 yards. Mike Williams on the return and bumped out of bounds. Oh, he took a shot. Eric Turner with the hit. 42 seconds to go in the first half, and Cleveland now up by the score of 14-10. Mr. Stats Elliott Cow passing on word that the previous longest return on an interception, 92 yards, Bernie Parrish did it back in 1960 against Chicago, and David Brandon did it against the Bears in November of 92. First down at the 23. Scott Mitchell has come on for the injured Dan Marino. And he'll throw again, and it is way off the mark. Incomplete. Intended for O.J. McDuffie.
I'll tell you, if that ball would have been on the mark, Mike Johnson, the linebacker, would have picked it off, or at least knocked it down. Because he was in a position, they're looking at Marino, they're working on his ankle, and I really believe he did this on his own, and he did it to himself. He turned it.
All right, right here, O.J. Simpson has a report on Dan Marino. Let's go to O.J.
Well, Mark, I'm standing right behind Dan, and the problem was with the inside of his ankle and the back of his ankle. He's taken off his jersey. He's already taken off his knee pad. He's in a lot of discomfort. They just put an ice pack on the back of his ankle, and they just brought in a little truck here to try to bring him inside, I guess, to take x-rays and a closer look at it. Anything else I'll find, I'll get back to you, Marv. Back to you.
All right, thank you, O.J. Timeout has been taken by the Browns. 33 seconds remaining in the half. Cleveland with a 14-10 lead on Miami. And when we resume, the Dolphins looking at a 3rd down and 8 from their 26. Both teams are down to 1 timeout remaining.
Well, and the Cleveland Browns took the timeout. They want to have a return on. You know, they've got this crowd behind them. They're now into the lead. They feel a lot of confidence. They know they've got the quarterback that really hasn't played much. So they wanted one more shot before the half.
Dan Marino, certainly one of the more durable quarterbacks in the NFL. As I mentioned earlier, he rarely has been knocked out of games. He rarely has been injured for any length of time. And he's headed back to the locker room. 3rd down and 8. A shovel pass, and Kirby able to run for the first down. That was a dangerous two-handed pass thrown by Mitchell.
Well, the thing about it is, though, if it's knocked down or batted down, it's still a pass. So it just goes to an incompleted pass.
Time running down. From the 39, Mitchell with the completion to Kirby. Clock at 5 seconds and running, and a timeout now taken by Miami.
Well, you got one chance for the Hail Mary into the end zone. First of all, Cleveland took a timeout on 3rd down, and Miami picks up the 1st down. But these are, you know, when you say, why weren't they doing that? You know, guys, why didn't they do that all day long? Well, when Marino in there, they were doing what they wanted to do. But in this situation here, you know that Cleveland's in a prevent defense. They're downfield. They'll give you all that stuff. Anything short is all, that's fine.
Saw Gary Stevens, the quarterback's coach, talking to Scott Mitchell. The preliminary report on Dan Marino. He injured his right Achilles tendon. And we'll have a later report at halftime. Here's another look.
Yeah, and he right here he just catches and he's making that move up and his leg goes out. And this is where he stretched it. I got to believe he didn't get. I mean, it wasn't when he got hit. But we'll find out. OJ will find it out.
4 seconds left in the half. Miami from their 48-yard line. And Mitchell tries to get it off. He does. And it's picked off. Was he inbounds? No, he was out of bounds. Terry Taylor able to make the grab, but it will not go as an interception as time runs out in an exciting first half. Marino 14 for 19, but hurt. Kozar 12 for 13 of the first half. The Browns with the lead. Will be back in a moment with the halftime report. Well, on that in just a moment. All the scores and highlights coming up now with Jim Lampley, Mike Ditka back at our New York studio. So let's go to Jim.
The pizza, the Raiders.
Welcome back to Cleveland. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. The Browns with a 14-10 lead on the Dolphins. Second half underway. The kickoff from Matt Stover. Taken by O.J. McDuffie. He's out to the 20-yard line. He's out to the 30. Nice run back by the rookie from Penn State. Now let's check out the Coors Light halftime statistics.
Well, when you look at those, see that those first downs by Miami, the only reason I mention these things is because they have no first downs rushing, 10 by pass, 1 by penalty, and look at the yards rushing, 12. But it is a little deceiving, Marv, because those little short passes out in the flat are almost like run plays, so that's part of their offense.
The major concern for the Dolphins, though, the injury suffered by Dan Marino. Scott Mitchell in a quarterback, and the handoff goes to Terry Kirby. Looked like it was knocked loose, but apparently the Dolphins able to hold on. Mike Johnson made that first hit. Nothing later on Marino, who hurt his right Achilles tendon. We have O.J. Simpson with us. He's checking out for a later report. And Marino, when he went down, was red hot. And we now receive word it is a torn Achilles tendon.
Devastating.
Mitchell, and it was almost picked off. Intended for Irving Fryer. It went through the hands of Najee Mustafa, who did intercept Scott Mitchell's first pass attempt and ran it in for a score, running 97 yards on the play.
Well, I want you to stop this, guys, because I don't think Fryer sees the ball. Look at Mustafa sees a piece of it, but they're looking directly back into the sun. And you see that thing come off of Fryer. It's almost like he didn't see it until the last second.
3rd and 11 from the 35. Earlier I touched on the fact that Dan Marino has been so durable over the course of his 11-year career. He has not missed a game due to injury since his rookie season back in 1983. Mitchell's pass incomplete, intended for Kirby, who is covered by the linebacker, Mike Johnson.
They've got to get Mitchell a chance to throw some real short passes, and by doing that, you're looking at Keith Byers coming out of the backfield. They've tried to do it with Kirby, but the problem on that play, it was 3rd down and 11, and you're throwing a 3-yard pattern.
Dale Hatcher will come on to punt for the second time. Eric Metcalf is deep. Dale Hatcher, the man who replaced Reggie Roby. Roby put on a show against his former teammates this past Monday night. Metcalf, 25. Try to go outside, but he is smothered. 47-yard punt and a 7-yard return. Brian Cox made the stop on Eric Metcalf.
Well, the Cleveland possession, you look at that first possession, and that was impressive. Right down the field and for a touchdown. And then punt, fumble. So the first possession was just outstanding. Remember, they got 14 points, but Mustafa on a 97-yard punt return, or interception return.
And that first possession also highlighted by the pass that was thrown on a play that began as a reverse. Michael Jackson was able to connect with Eric Metcalf. Bernie Kosar, 12 for 13, 74 yards, and since that opening drive, really has not been able to move this ball club, as you just saw. Here's Vardell looking for the outside. Vardell stopped by Jeff Hunter. Cleveland Browns come in at 3-1, wins over Cincinnati. San Francisco beat the Raiders, lost at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. Last week they were idle. It was a bye week. They began the season at 3-0, first time since back in 1979 that they were able to start that well. Browns' last game at Indianapolis, a penalty-filled game. And for the second straight game, Cleveland could not score in the first half. Well, they were able to turn that stat around here today. Vardell for the first down. Swing pass succeeding with Tommy Vardell. He was stopped by the combination of Troy Vincent and Jarvis Williams.
Well, that really surprises me. I know they're concentrating on the outside on Jackson and Metcalf and Terry, but the thing about Vardell going out into the flat with nobody there, I mean, he has the first down before he even comes close to contact.
Fifth catch of the day for Vardell in his second season out of Stanford, Cleveland's #1 draft pick last year. First down at the 39-yard line. 2.5 gone by. Third quarter. Vardell again, but he's turned back, lost on the play. Jeff Cross, the left defensive end, made the stop. Chicago leading Philadelphia now 17-0 in the third quarter.
Philadelphia's still undefeated, aren't they? Well, not after today.
Yes. they come off that comfort behind win over the Jets last week. And Cincinnati still leading Kansas City. Dave Craig for the injured Joe Montana, quarterback for the Chiefs.
We saw the Chiefs against Houston. Remember that 30-0 when Craig was the quarterback and Montana didn't play?
It's a 2nd and 9. Apparently they spotted the ball, giving Vardell forward progress. 2nd and 9 at the 40. Kosar could not find anyone, and it's incomplete. Dwight Collier on the coverage of Eric Metcalf, setting a 3rd down and 9.
Well, both, the defenses in this game, they both have been playing very well. Offensively, Cleveland, after that first drive, they really have not done a thing. And remember, on that drive, there were a couple of gadgets in there.
Kosar able to complete it with a 14-yard touchdown pass to Michael Jackson. Stoyanovich connected on a 52-yard field goal. Marino and Ingram hooked up on a 13-yard score. Then Mustafa went 97 yards on that interception of Mitchell. That recaps the scoring. Kosar off the run. Metcalf had nowhere to go.
Understand this play. We started the first half, and the reason I don't understand the play is you got Kosar rolling to the side of the screen. Now you're rolling out. Watch this, and Metcalf 21 is the guy that's going to be in the screen. You see him getting caught in the middle, but you're bringing the defense to him. You're not fooling anybody with the play. You take the whole defense with you, and then you try to throw a screen, and they hammer your back.
So here's Brian Hansen. O.J. McDuffie back inside his 15. He just did get it off. Oh, fair catch was indicated, but McDuffie was run into actually accidentally. Run into by Randy Baldwin.
Yeah.
And a penalty marker is down. Baldwin is hurt.
I mean, O.J. McDuffie is looking at the ball, trying to make a fair catch, and Baldwin just runs right into it. The kick was short.
Only a 32-yard punt.
Now, the rush was on by the Dolphins, and I don't think they got a piece of the ball. What happened is the punter just pulled the ball back. Brian Hansen just pulled the ball back to get it up in the air. It was a short punt. Now, here comes McDuffie right here, and there's Baldwin. He goes by and just clips him. Why
there was fair catch interference by the kicking team as the receiver was signaling for a fair catch. It's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
See, you don't have to boo here, folks, because this is the proper call. If he signals fair catch, you got to get out of his way. I mean, and he didn't.
C is brought to you by Starter, authentic apparel and headwear of the NFL. By Coors Light, aged ice cold for that pure taste of the Rockies. Reach for the silver bullet, the right beer now. By McDonald's, what you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio on a cool, crisp day. Temperature at 45 degrees. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. The Browns 14, but Dolphins 10. 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Scott Mitchell for the injured Dan Marino. Completes to Mark Ingram. Tackled by the middle linebacker, Mike Johnson. So Mitchell is now 3 of 8 for 26 yards. He had his first attempt picked off by Najee Mustafa. Scott Mitchell in his 4th NFL season, but has not played very much. Out of Utah, last season threw only 8 passes, completed 2. He's used primarily as the holder for point after touchdown and field goal attempts. A lanky southpaw, 6'6". Kirby gets across the 45-yard line. Well, we have some more on the Dan Marino injury. Let's go across the field to O.J. Simpson. Juice?
Well, Marv, the worst news possible. I was just with Dan talking to him in the locker room. He says that the doctor told him it is a torn Achilles tendon, that he wouldn't play anymore this year. He said he felt like he got shot. He said as he set up the throw and as he released the ball, at first he thought someone kicked him in the ankle. Then he felt like it was a shot in the back of his ankle. All in all, it adds up to a torn Achilles tendon. No more Dan Marino for this season. Marv?
All right, O.J. Irving Fryer with a nice catch. Taken down by Terry Taylor, and obviously that is just awful news for Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins. As I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Marino had not missed a game because of injury since back in his rookie season of 1983. And now Don Shula looking at Scott Mitchell at quarterback. That just did go for 30 yards, setting up a first down to the 24.
Absolutely great touch. You got Fryer going one-on-one downfield. The Browns had a blitz, and Mitchell just laid the ball up. Irving Fryer ran underneath and made the catch.
Byers in motion. This is Mark Higgs handling the ball for the first time. Mark Higgs, a 5'7" running back out of Kentucky in his 6th year. Last year led the Dolphins with 915 yards on the ground. He has not been effective as a runner to this point this season.
The nice thing about Higgs, when he and not making fun of him being short, is that he hides in behind those offensive linemen, and it really is difficult for the defense to find him.
Second down and 7. Miami moving to the dog pound end of the field. That's Higgs tripped up inside the 20.
And again, you know, with that Marino, when we're talking about, he didn't get hit. He did it to himself. He just turned, went to step up. All right, now we're going to see Higgs. Watch this. Number 88 is Keith Jackson, and I think this is where he trips over his legs. When he cuts back, he does. He trips over Keith Jackson. Nice tackle by Jackson. He happens to be on the offense.
Third down and 5. Miami with Ulenek at center. Ellenbach and Sims at the guards. Webb and Heller at the tackles. And Mitchell fires for the end zone. Touchdown! Tony Martin with the touchdown reception. So Scott Mitchell, after the ineffective start, has responded. Well-executed drive capped off by the touchdown pass to Tony Martin.
Watch what he does here. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. He steps up, and then instead of running with the ball, watch this. He'll stop. He sees Martin, and the throw into the end zone. Over the defense, into Martin's hand. What a great play.
Stoyanovich has the extra point. So the Dolphins have taken a 17-14 lead on the Browns.
This is just, I mean, you just watch him. It's just beautiful to watch him step up and then find the player in the backfield.
Madison leads the NFL's top offense as the Jets face one of the league's best defenses, the LA Raiders. Next on NBC.
6 plays, 60 yards, 3 minutes, 26 seconds consumed. And Scott Mitchell with his first NFL touchdown pass. Tony Martin on the receiving end for a second touchdown of the season. And Miami now leads 17-14. Now the deep man is Eric Metcalf. And Metcalf on the kickoff return. He's to the 20. Got a stiff arm.
Eric Metcalf returning the kick.
Well, those of you who were with us just moments ago heard the news from O.J. Simpson that Dan Marino, with that torn Achilles tendon, has had it for the rest of this season. Miami Dolphin optimist can point out, Paul, that back in 1972 when the Dolphins went undefeated, it was Earl Morrow coming off the bench for an injured Bob Greasy, leading the Dolphins to the Super Bowl and the victory.
You know, you've got a young quarterback, but you also have a very experienced football team, so he's taken on an offense that's outstanding.
That Dolphin squad also had a pretty fair defensive unit, the no-name defense. Kozar, although in trouble, able to complete it. A short pickup. Brian Kinchin, one-time member of the Miami Dolphins, stopped by Travis Williams. That picked up only 1 yard. It's a 2nd down and 9 at the 22, and it looks like John Offerdahl is down.
Offerdahl came in and had the rush. The blitz was on. He had a piece of Kozar, and Kozar spun out. And remember, he did have a bad shoulder.
All right, we'll take a break right here. We'll be back in a moment.
All right, what you're seeing is that's John Offerdahl is on the bench, and they were holding his arm, and he is out here. Take a look up here on the left-hand side. He lands on his shoulder. He's coming into Kozar. He was blocked, and he lands right there on his right arm, and it looked like he jammed it in his shoulder because when they took him off, everybody, well, the people with him were holding his arm so they didn't move it.
John Offerdahl, that has been injury hit problems the last couple of years. He is so important to the Miami defensive unit. Play resumes. Here's Tommy Vardell on the 2nd down and 9. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. Jeff Hunter made the stop on Vardell. Reminder coming up next on most of these NBC stations. Many of you will see the Raiders and the Jets in other areas, San Diego, Pittsburgh, New England, and Phoenix. Check your local listings for the game in your area. It's a 3rd down and 5 at the 26. We will pass on a report on John Offerdahl as soon as it comes across. Miami already losing Dan Marino. Kozar is hauled down. Jeff Cross with his 4th sack of the season. And number 4 today by the Dolphins.
I give the sacks to the secondary. You got to give them credit. Cross 91, but watch Kozar. He steps up. There's no one to throw the ball to. He stepped up. He's trying to throw. There's nobody open. He also had Brian Cox up in his face. He was jumping up in the air, so he couldn't get the ball downfield. Secondary covered everyone. Cross gets the sack.
The punting unit comes on. Brian Hansen from his 10. O.J. McDuffie out to midfield. 41-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Stacey Harrison made the tackle. Well, next weekend here on NBC, the Skills Challenge presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. 8 of golf's top players going head-to-head in driving, short game, iron shots, bunker shots, trouble shots, and putting. The Skills Challenge next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And above the Cleveland skyline, a familiar sight, the Goodyear Blip. Goodyear overhead providing our aerial views. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Miami with a 17-14 lead on Cleveland. A completion to Kirby, spinning his way to the Browns' 45, met there by Clay Matthews. We're set for an update. Let's go to Jim Lampley in New York.
Where, Marv, we can show you the Chiefs finally gaining the upper hand against the Bengals. It's Marcus Allen's 101st career touchdown on a 9-yard run. Nice little move on Mike Brim at the 5-yard line. Allen's TD ties him for 7th on the all-time list with Steve Largent. KC leads 14-12. Back to Marv and Paul.
Thank you, Jim. Well, last week we did the game that saw Marcus score number 100 against his former club, the LA Raiders, which you know he enjoyed immensely. Second down and 2. And it's Keith Byers gunning for the first down. Well, John Offerdahl is headed back to the locker room for more on his status. Let's go to O.J. Simpson.
Well, Mark, more bad news for the Dolphins. John Offerdahl, the defensive leader, has dislocated his shoulder. The doctor said that they've snapped it back in. They're taking him in for x-rays. But John Offerdahl, like Dan Marino, will see no more action today. Marv?
Thank you, O.J. A brutal day physically for the Miami Dolphins. First down at the 41, and Mitchell completes for another first down. A diving catch by Keith Byers.
I'm loving what I'm seeing with this young man. I mean, he's just stepping up in there, and nothing's really phasing him. People are going by. He's stepping up, and he's looking for receivers downfield. Now, watch Mitchell here. When he goes back, the rush is on. No one to throw to. Oh, wait a second. Here comes Jackson. Let's throw it to him. That play before this, we ought to save it, because that's the first down rushing by either team in this ball game that may be monumental.
16-yard pass play. Mitchell is now 7 for 12, 99 yards. First down at the 25. Back to the run. It's Kirby, and he's hit back behind the line. Nice tackle by the veteran Everson Walls.
He tried to stiff arm Everson Walls, and Everson grabbed onto his arm and just rode him down. It was a great play.
Paul, to demonstrate the importance of John Offerdahl in the Miami lineup, last year the Dolphins went 6-0 before Offerdahl got hurt. He missed 8 games because of an abdominal strain. Knee problems hurt him back in 1991. Pro Bowl player, first 5 years of his NFL career. Second and 13 at the 28. Second back coming through, Kirby. And a short pickup. Rob Burnett, the left defensive end, number 90, made the stop.
They're really not running. We just mentioned a little while ago that the first down by rushing by either team just happened, and there's like 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. You've got to throw the ball downfield. They've got to get Byers back in the ball game. Keith Byers throws a little short passes to him. It's difficult here. He's not in the ball game.
Kirby has caught 6 passes. He's run the ball 10 times for only 5 yards. That's minus yardage. Here's Mitchell on the run. Saw the opening. Took advantage. What a play by the 6'6" Scott Mitchell. A 17-yard run.
You know what he does? He runs through 2 linebackers. We're going to show you this. Right in the middle of the screen, Clay Matthews is on a blitz. Watch this. He gets through him. Now he's going to hold Johnson, Mike Johnson, with a fake. Johnson stands right there. He goes by him and picks up the first down at the 10-yard line. What a great run. Dan who?
It's a 1st and 10 just outside the 10. Higgs. A short pickup by Mark Higgs, taken down by Stephon Moore.
The defensive line, they really have to come up in a hurry just to find Higgs. There's the offensive line blocking. Coming out is Dullenbach. He makes a block on the outside. Higgs goes inside and picks up 3.5 yards on the play.
2nd and 6. Irving Fryer flank to the left side. Mark Ingram to the right from the 7. Inside the 5. Taken out by Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews makes an excellent play there because he had Terry Kirby is blocking on him, and Clay Matthews gets off the block and makes the play. Because if this block is made by Kirby, you've got to believe that Keith Byers is in the end zone. 43 on 57. Boom, there's the block. Look at Matthews. He throws him away. Byers had the outside. Matthews makes the stop. What a nice play.
Drive. are looking that way. Let's see, did he scoop it? Did he catch it? The indication of a touchdown by Keith Jackson in front of David Brandon. A clean catch by Keith Jackson for the score.
Second touchdown pass. Jackson gets his hands underneath the ball, or does he? We've got Keith Jackson isolated, gets just into the end zone. Watch his hands.
Whoa.
That ball hit the ground, folks. That ball hit the ground. That is not a touchdown. The other shot we had was that the ball is, if you see his hands underneath the ball, then you know it has no chance to get there. But the ball was between his hands and it hit the ground.
But it will count. The only instant replay in this case is what you just saw. It has nothing to do, as you well know, with the officiating.
All right, hold this for a second. See how his hands are apart? Now watch the ball between his hands. If his hands are underneath, the ball doesn't have a chance, but his hands are apart. There's the ball touching the goal line, and he just scoops it up quickly. No one really wanted to make the call. He was in the end zone and gave a touchdown. Mitchell said, I don't care what anybody says, it's a touchdown. I like it. I like it. That's right. Touchdown. Is he happy? Yes.
And for the Miami Dolphins, it is the first time since 1983 that anyone, aside from Dan Marino, has thrown for 2 touchdowns in a single game. The last player to do it, Don Strock, against the New York Jets in December of '83. So Don Shula forced to go to the backup quarterback, Scott Mitchell, because of the injury suffered by Dan Marino. Certainly has to be pleased with what he has seen after the slow start. Mitchell's very first pass was picked off by Najee Mustafa, and he went 97 yards for a touchdown.
Score is 24-14, and let me give you some bad news for Cleveland. Even though Kozar 15 completions, Marv, you ready for this? 7 of them. 7 of the 15 have been 3 yards or less.
46 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The return by Metcalf. Oh, an ankle tackle prevented a long gainer for Eric Metcalf. Well, next Saturday, NBC Sports World will present a Breeders' Cup preview, the final prep for horse racing's championship day. The Breeders' Cup preview next Saturday, and that'll be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on NBC. The Browns start out from their 34-yard line. They're now trailing the Dolphins 24-14. A Miami club that has lost Dan Marino and John Offerdahl due to injury. Marino, the report, according to O.J. Simpson, torn Achilles, out for the season. Look out, down goes Kosar. Jeff Cross with his second sack of this quarter for the Dolphins, their 5th sack of the day.
This is a rollout play again, and I've got to believe they're trying to screen it to the tight end, but the tight end, Kinchin, never gets out, number 88. I don't know this is true. Here's Kinchin along the line of scrimmage. He's being held up. Kozar is moving down the line. Now remember, he is a right-handed quarterback. He was then rolling to his left, which means if he's going to throw the ball downfield, or he's got to make a whole turn to get his body right to throw. Didn't have time.
Most unusual situation here. Bernie Kosar has very impressive numbers, yet with the mentality that has set in here, could you see him pull despite the fact you're looking at 15 for 17, but only 82 yards. Here's Kosar firing deep for Jackson, and it is broken up. Beautiful play by J.B. Brown, who got a hand on it.
Jackson looked like he was going to just go on downfield, but he had to wait on the ball, and it gave J.B. Brown enough time to get there and make the play. Watch this. Jackson slowing down for the ball. Brown comes in, knocks the ball away. End of the third.
So after 3, Miami has taken the lead, 24-14. Back after this.
The private use of our audience.
And he's down at 20, at the 24 as the fourth quarter gets underway. Here's Kosar stepping up, and again goes deep for Jackson, and again it is broken up by J.B. Brown.
The ball is short. Brian Cox was on a blitz and 2 guys just stopped it right in his tracks. And then Kozar trying to get downfield. And look, we got Michael Jackson limping. Okay, Michael Jackson on the top side, J.B. Brown. Now watch, the ball is underthrown. Jackson looks like he's beyond it, but watch this here. I don't know about J.B. Brown, a little pushing in the back, but, you know, just getting his balance. They let that go. Didn't really interfere.
Ryan Hansen will punt from his 10. O.J. McDuffie's back. Big rush. Fair catch. This time uncontested. O.J. McDuffie handling that 35-yard punt. Well, through 3 quarters, Miami with the 17 first downs. Dan Marino did most of the damage. Neither club able to do it on the ground. 252 passing yards for the Dolphins, and Scott Mitchell has certainly come on.
No question about it. 2 touchdown passes, but only 1 rushing first down by either team, and that was Miami getting a first down rushing. Vinny Testaverde, yeah, you're going to see him. The quarterback controversy will continue.
Well, as brought up just a moment ago, here's Higgs on the pitch out. Even though Bernie Kosar has the impressive numbers, there has been no spark to the offense and has not been able to complete deep. And here comes Dan Marino with some help, making his way back onto the field.
That is ends it for this year. If it's a torn Achilles, he's out for the entire year. There's just no way he can come back off of that. Bernie Kosar, we said, not been able to go deep. His longest completion, Marv, 13 yards. That's not good.
Whoops. All right, flags thrown.
Mitchell and Pepper Johnson said, no, you're not going anywhere.
Deep attempts by Kosar with the last couple to Jackson.
Number 92 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That's Michael Dean Perry called for the offside.
He wasn't very nice to me yesterday.
No, he was not, which is certainly understandable. He was referring to some of your comments during our telecast of the Browns-Raiders game, and he felt, and I'd have to go along with Michael Dean, that you were all over him.
Well, go ahead and desert me, pal. So I'll talk to you, Marvin. I'm not talking to Paul. We just mentioned, you know, he hadn't been offside in 3 games. He jumped offside the next play, and he jumped off 5 times.
It's a second down and 2 from midfield, and Mitchell airs one out. Intended for Martin, covered by Walls.
Well, that ball, Martin was going down the sideline. The ball was thrown back to the inside of the field, and Martin made a nice adjustment, but the ball was a little bit too high.
You look at the career of Scott Mitchell in his 4th season out of Utah. He was on the Miami roster back in 1990, but inactive the entire season. 91, did not attempt to pass. 92, played in all 16 games, but that because he's the holder for extra points and field goals, and was 2 for 8. That was it. Again, the jump. And it is Rob Burnett with the raps on Scott Mitchell.
You know, the one thing that tells you he's a tough kid and a player not to worry too much about. First play he comes in the ball game, Marv. 97-yard interception for a touchdown. He comes right back and just starts throwing the football. I mean, you wonder, how much did it bother him? Well, obviously not much, because the young man...
Encroachment, number 9 in the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the first down. But here's the young man that steps back up, throws 2 touchdowns, and that last pass, he is not afraid to go downfield. I mean, they have all the confidence in the world in this guy, and I don't see what they have to worry about him.
Well, the Dolphins, you know, will sign another quarterback. Right now, their backup, their emergency QB is Tony Martin, who is a wide receiver, was a quarterback when he first entered Mesa College in Colorado. They did have Scott Seekules, but he signed as a free agent during the offseason with the New England Patriots. It's a first down at the 45-yard line. There is Tony Martin now masquerading as wide receiver slash second string quarterback.
Masquerading.
And off to Higgs. So Mark Higgs getting into the action in the second half. Did not play at all in the first half. Jerry Ball made the stop.
We talked to Michael Dean Perry yesterday talking about, you know, having a good year, and he said, well, I got a sack bet going. But not with anybody on this team. Some guy up in Seattle, Cortez Kennedy. They have to see who's the better defensive lineman at the end of the year.
They have some intriguing standards that they have agreed upon. 2nd down and 10 at the 45-yard line with 2 minutes gone by 4th quarter, and Scott Mitchell did not look like what he saw and took the timeout. We'll be back in Cleveland in a moment.
He is brought to you by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your bud. By Napa, we keep America running. By Acura, who invites you to test drive the new 1994 Acura Integra. And by Coca-Cola Classic, always the real thing, always Coca-Cola.
When we resume, a 2nd and 10 at the 45-yard line, and you have to wonder if Bernie will get the thumb once again for this man, Vinny Testaverde, who has come on the last 2 games with success against the Raiders. Did not work against Indianapolis 2 weeks ago.
And obviously is not very happy with what he's watching.
13 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Byers, stutter step move to the 40s, met by Anthony Pleasant, the right defensive end.
You know, when you're talking about Bernie Kosar, when you look at it, he's 15 of 19, which are great numbers there, percentage-wise, but an average of 4.3 yards per pass attempt. I mean, that's not good. And again, you know, I'm not blaming Bernie Kosar. There was really, the blocking broke down. The defensive secondary, great coverage.
3rd down and 5, and this capacity crowd urging the defensive unit on. Mitchell, and it's a 1st down and some more. Mark Ingram off a curl with the reception and did the job after the catch.
What Scott Mitchell he just steps up. Everson Walls is on a blitz, and he comes off the corner. Mitchell can see him. There's nobody to block him. He stays in and gets this ball to Ingram on the corner. Can you, right here, watch this here. Here he comes. He's on the blitz. Mitchell just steps up and hits Ingram with the pass. He gets the 1st down. Heads up play.
4th reception for Ingram. Back to the ground. Kirby. Terry Kirby, 3rd round draft pick. Rookie out of Virginia. He was Virginia's all-time leading rusher. Terrific size, 6'1", 221 pounds. Also a very good basketball player, and his brother, an outfielder for the Cleveland Indians. Wayne Kirby on hand. Pretty decent year, hit around 270. Although Terry has no respect for the sport of baseball.
I asked him about his brother. Is he a good athlete? He says, you don't have to be a good athlete to play baseball.
Here's Kirby again. Right, he said, hey, what does that mean, baseball? A little hand-eye coordination. That's all you need.
He said, you don't have to be a good athlete to play baseball. I love that. I didn't say that for all the baseball players that are out there watching us. I did not say that.
You should clear that up.
Yeah, Terry said it.
Ball and Matthews with the wraps on Kirby. 4 minutes gone by in this 4th quarter. And there is Wayne Kirby, Cleveland Indians right fielder. Paul asked me prior to the game, is it what, Dale Mitchell on left, Larry Doby in center? I would say Kirby in right. All right, here's Mitchell with the flip again for Kirby, who was hit immediately inside the 20-yard line and short of the 1st down. Everson Walls made the stop.
Now, I'm just looking across at this scoreboard over here, and if that thing is right, this has been a miserable day offensively for the Cleveland Browns, and don't blame it all on Bernie Kosar. 110 yards of total offense. Elliot, is that about right?
Missed the stats, checking it out.
Yeah, he'll find it out.
Missed a 37-yard field goal attempt. Earlier, Stoyanovich hit from 52. No good.
Well, they finally had something to cheer about.
So the score remains 24-14.
Well, keep an eye on this, on the ball over here. I can't, it isn't working on the telestrator. Watch the ball now. We're going to stop it. Watch where the laces are. You see the laces are being turned? Now they're beyond forward. They're off to the right. Watch where this ball misses. Off to the right. You've got to get the laces straight downfield.
And the holder, Scott Mitchell, try to spin it into position. And Vinny Testaverde has come on for Bernie Kosar. Completes to Eric Metcalf. Bernie Kosar is such a popular figure in this area. Very involved in many charitable organizations. Always handles himself with grace. And he is a guy who, even when struggling, rarely hears the boos. And they booed the entrance of Testaverde despite the fact that Kosar has not been able to get this offense going.
And unless you block someone and you get some people open, Testaverde can't get it moving either. I mean, they're just not blocking anybody right now.
It is a 2nd down and 9. Testaverde swings it out to Metcalf. He's run out of bounds by Bestie Jackson right at the 1st down marker.
Now remember, Kosar's longest completion was 13 yards, right? Now you look at Testaverde comes in, 2 passes to Metcalf. One about a 2-yard gain. This one about a 6-yard gain. You're going to do this up and down the field. You've got to get somebody deep. They've got to open up and get that defense out of that deep zone. They've got to throw something deep so that now they can work in the middle of the field. The middle is open.
Last couple of attempts by Kosar, that is what he was trying to do. Try to hook up with Michael Jackson. It's 3rd and about 2 from the 28. And Testaverde tried to connect with Carrier. Incomplete. Troy Vincent on the coverage.
They may go for it here. You know, they're looking at 4th and 2 to the outside. Carrier is open, coming across the middle. The ball hits him in the hands. That's not Testaverde's fault, and they're going to go for it on 4th down. You're looking at 8:45. You're only down, what, by 10 points? But they've got to get something moving here, whether they're going to try to get them offside or not. They're 100% on 4th down situations, so here we go.
Play action. Testaverde will run it and has a 1st down. Crowd was looking for some contact out of bounds on the part of Jarvis Williams, but there will not be a call.
You know what makes this play? Brian Cox, as the linebacker, he just takes himself totally out of the play. He goes inside. When right now he wants to get in a fight. They got to get Brian Cox out of there. You're going to get another flag. You don't need to lose control in this ball game. They've got a 10-point lead. There's 8.5 minutes to go. But Brian Cox is the guy that goes inside on this play and enables Testaverde when he gets outside. There's just nobody there. Could actually walk for the 1st down. Did they throw a flag in there?
Well, apparently they did. It appeared as
Personal foul. I'm sorry, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 51, 15-yard penalty.
This is after the play.
The flag is on Cox. Jarvis Williams was trying to put the brakes on and was looking to avoid a flag on that out-of-bounds contact, but it's Cox called on the unsportsmanlike.
Well, you see Cox there. He takes himself out of the play, which absolutely enables Vinny Testaverde to get downfield. Here it is. Watch Cox 51. Watch where he goes. He's the outside linebacker. Bardell comes out. He doesn't even have to block him. And when you go back to the outside, there's no linebacker. You've got the corners off and the safeties playing pass defense. It just opened it up. Now, there's no flag there. And then after Cox comes in, he gets a flag.
Well, the Browns have a 1st down at the Dolphins' 47-yard line. Testaverde with the time. Goes short range with the tight end, Kinchin, and a 1st down. Brian Kinchin taken down by combination of John Brinsley and Troy Vincent and a little extracurricular activity. Brian Kinchin is a one-time Miami Dolphins. He came to the Browns primarily as the long snapper. He is now a starting tight end for Cleveland.
First time they throw the ball to him, and he was not the primary target at the end of the play. There's a tackle on the outside. And they're talking, pushing and shoving. J.B. Brown is not very happy.
7:45 left, fourth quarter. First down for Miami. 35. Testaverde on a screen. Metcalf with a nice catch. Metcalf inside the 30. And a flag is tossed. Oh, contact with the official on the part of Jarvis Williams. That may cost him.
You can get it. We saw someone get ejected doing that. You cannot touch the official. This was a screen pass where Metcalf comes back out of the offensive line, makes a play.
Personal foul, late hit by the defense, number 25. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, I think they let Jarvis Williams off the hook on making contact with the official.
All right, here it is. You see, Metcalf almost gets caught up in the line. Then he gets back out. Watch 25. Louis Oliver, that shot that, well, I'll tell you, I don't agree with that. Oliver's getting blocked. Here's the official on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, you see Jarvis Williams there. That's where the problem is. And he gets away with touching the official. But I'm going to tell you something. That is not unsportsmanlike conduct or a bad hit. He was blocked into the player.
And as a first down at the 14 for the Browns on the move with Vinny Testaverde taking over. Kosar. Bardell with flags thrown. Bardell inside the 10. Louis Oliver made the stop. Down to 7:15 remaining in the fourth quarter.
You know, when you go back and you look, I can see throwing a flag and a late hit out of bounds when things like that happen. But when you're blocked into a play, and this is what Louis Oliver is trying to explain. Hey, look it, man. If I'm being blocked in there, you can't call me for hitting the guy going out of bounds.
Illegal formation on the offense. The right side of the line is not in front of scrimmage. Line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
See, Metcalf will be going down the sideline now, but watch on the right-hand side. Louis Oliver is coming up. Now Metcalf makes a move, but he's being blocked from behind. Actually was getting clipped at the time, and he gets called. That's wrong.
It's a first and 15 at the 19, a drive that began back on the Cleveland 19. Deep drop by Testaverde. Can't find anyone. Runs into his own man and goes down. He ran into the left guard, Houston Hoover.
You know who makes this play? Right at the beginning, Brian Cox, number 51, gets a hold of Bardell. He ran screen right from the beginning of the play. On the left-hand side, watch Brian Cox, 51. He comes across. See Bardell. Now watch him. He goes and gets Bardell. There's a screen that was supposed to be out here. Now, when Testaverde's running around, he does run into Houston Hoover. You're not going to block. Get out of the way.
It's a second and 18 at the 22. Dolphins will receive credit for a sack appeared to be crossed. Metcalf could not hold on. He took his eye off the ball for just an instant to try to turn it upfield.
Bruce Alexander was making the play. The defensive back, number 32, coming up in the play. And Metcalf, when the ball is thrown out here, you've got to make sure you catch the ball first. Watch his head. Does he look upfield? Yes, he does. He turns it to look at the defensive back. Lost sight of the ball. Now looking at a third down and 18.
Dolphins 24, Browns 14, 6:15 remaining in the fourth quarter. Testaverde intended for Carrier. Carrier, his favorite receiver. That goes back to their days at Tampa Bay. Bruce Alexander knocked it down.
What a great play by Bruce Alexander. He's a cornerback, listed as a corner. And actually the ninth guy listed as far as defensive backs, and he's going to make the play. Carrier's coming across. Testaverde wants to hit him. And look at this. Alexander was in excellent position to knock the ball away.
And now Cleveland with a 4th and 18 will attempt a 40-yard field goal. Matt Stover, who is 7 for 8 this season. And it is no good. So Stoyanovich missed earlier, and now Stover not able to hit from 40. The score remains Miami 24, Cleveland 14.
Coco. Now they're working on Testaverde. We see Bernie Kosar warming up again. Bernie will be going back. We'll get a report on Testaverde right away. OJ being a track meet runner. Yes. Get your track stance, OJ. Get moving.
Earning his money here this afternoon. Keith fires the ball carrier as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Anthony Pleasant made the stop. A reminder tonight, you'll see how 4 parachutists survive an incredible plummet towards Earth in an eyewitness video hosted by John Forsythe. And then an all-new sequest starring Roy Scheider. That's tonight here on NBC. The Dolphins with a 24-14 lead on the Browns, but of most significance from the Miami point of view, Dan Marino injured, hurt his Achilles tendon, tore the Achilles tendon. There he is, and he is lost for the remainder of the season. And John Offerdahl also went down with a shoulder problem. A completion to the tight end Keith Jackson. A flag is thrown. Stevan Moore made the stop on Jackson. And the report on Testaverde, they're checking out his right hand. That's his throwing hand. Then he did a nice job, took over for Kosar, helped by a couple of Miami penalties, was able to move the club. They had to settle for the field goal attempt, but Stover was not able to hit from 40 yards away.
Number 98 in the defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
As Anthony Pleasant, the right defensive end.
I've just seen you're seeing so many mistakes, and when things start to go bad, you start trying to do things to turn it around defensively, and now you're trying to get the jump. You're not paying attention. You lose control of what you're doing. You really have to stay in there and really concentrate when things go bad. Play the defense the way it's designed.
Second down and 2. And Keith Byers is stopped. Stopped by Mike Johnson. Let's go to Jim Lampley in New York.
And Marv, let's go to Kansas City to see if the Chiefs can go on top of the Bengals on that 37-yard field goal by Lowry. With 2:43 to go, Kansas City is back in the lead, 17-15. Not out of the woods yet. Marvin Paul.
Thank you, Jim. Well, the Chiefs having their difficulties with the winless Cincinnati Bengals, who will meet up with Cleveland next Sunday in Cincinnati.
Target.
Yes, will be on hand for the second installment of the Battle of Ohio. Why are you looking at me like that?
From Ohio. This is very serious, the Battle of Ohio.
I said it in a
He's
serious
from Ohio.
time.
Shula.
Yes, he is. This is a homecoming for Don Shula with Ohio roots. Born in Grand River, Ohio, raised in Painesville, which he says is located about 30 miles from Cleveland. He attended John Carroll University in Cleveland. A running back at John Carroll.
9th round pick.
Dolphins just short of a first down. 4:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. A third down and less than a yard from the 31. Byers in motion. And it's Kirby. It appears the Browns stopped him. Stevan Moore meeting Terry Kirby head on. Remember, the Browns 3 weeks ago came from way back. They were down 16-3 to the Los Angeles Raiders at the Coliseum in Los Angeles with just under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Testaverde came on and he sparked the Browns to the victory. Testaverde did come on against the Colts, but was not able to get much going, and that's the only loss thus far this season for the Cleveland Browns. Well, they've called for another measurement.
And the Cleveland Browns also want a timeout, I believe.
Dolphins come up short. Yeah, that's the indication. Head coach Bill Belichick. 4:27 remaining in the fourth quarter. And a fourth and less than a yard for the Dolphins.
I think the Browns they signaled for a timeout because
Timeout, Cleveland.
yeah, they did. Because what happens, Miami Dolphins will just sit there and run off another 25 seconds on the clock if they don't.
It's Miami 24, Cleveland 14. We'll be right back. Well, just ahead on most of these NBC stations, game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the Raiders and the Jets from the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
Browns are coming.
Punt from Hatcher. Metcalf on the return. And he stopped across the 35-yard line by Darryl Malone. A 39-yard punt and a 6-yard return. So the situation, 4:18 left in the fourth quarter. The Dolphins with a 10-point lead, 24-14 the score. And Vinny Testaverde will remain on the field. Apparently that right hand is okay. So Testaverde, who came on for Kosar, will continue to run the team.
Now, one of the things that really doesn't surprise you when you look at a guy like Scott Mitchell from Miami coming off and doing so well against the defense, they're not prepared for him. When you prepare for the Miami Dolphins, you prepare for Dan Marino. You don't prepare for a guy like Scott Mitchell. All of a sudden he comes in, his cadence is different. All the things he does, all of them are different. And he's left-handed.
A side-arming left-handed. Metcalf on the completion. Brings right to the marker. Bobby Harden on the stop. Bobby Harden waived in August, re-signed this week when Lifford Hobley went down, and the Browns are into their hurry-up. They did pick up the first down, got the spot. So Cleveland from their 48-yard line, just under 4 minutes remaining fourth quarter. Testaverde with the long look, could not find anyone, and runs for the first down.
You know, when you look at this defense, the Dolphins are in a type of prevent. Now, you got 3 guys that are about 20 yards off the ball down in the middle of the field. They're going to go down around see the ball at the 40? Well, they're down at the 20. So they're going to give you anything short you want. They're going to let Metcalf run with it and get the other field. I don't understand that call there at all. If you're going to do that, then just throw the ball over the middle in the middle of the field, because the middle of the field is wide open.
And the clock continues to run off that inside handoff. Now 3 minutes remaining fourth quarter. Testaverde goes the short route. Metcalf tries to get out of bounds and does. So first down, and it stops the clock.
And Bruce Alexander really did the smart thing. He could have taken a shot at Metcalf. Number 32 is Bruce Alexander. As Metcalf gets outside, Testaverde's just dumping the ball out. He's looking downfield. This is not really designed. So Metcalf slips off the block, gets the play. Now watch it. Watch at the end of the play. Number 32 coming in right here. See him just pull up. Ooh, I thought it was 32. It was 37. J.B. Brown is the guy that made the play.
Cleveland a first down at the Miami 27. 2:52 remaining in the fourth quarter. And yes, flags thrown throughout the playing surface.
I'm sorry, Steve Everett didn't center the ball. The ball, he went to center the ball, and then they threw it down on the ground. He got so mad.
Ball starts by number 61 of the offense.
I would think so.
5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Steve Everett,
watch this.
Rookie from Michigan who grew up in the Miami area.
You got to let go of it.
You and he, I saw, got along very well at practice yesterday.
Yeah, what is it? Michael Dean Perry says he's half human, half ape.
Yes, that was very nice.
That's a funny guy. This is a tough player.
Playing with a dislocated thumb on his left hand during a plastic cast. Testaverde's pass incomplete through the hands of Patrick Rowe, covered by Bobby Harden.
We've seen 2 drops now. Rowe, Carrier doing 1. Rowe on this one here. The ball hits you in the hands. You got to catch it. Concentration. Catch the football. He made the turn beautifully.
Patrick Rowe in his second season from San Diego State sat out last year after a knee injury suffered in preseason. Second down at 15 at the 32. 2:48 remaining in the fourth quarter. Browns trailing by 10 points. Testaverde again forced to run and slides for the first down All receivers were covered, and Testaverde had to run it for the first down.
Michael Jackson, I mean, got a tremendous block on Bobby Harden, number 45. I mean, he just came up and just dropped him in his tracks, enabled Testaverde to pick up the 9 yards. Michael peeling back. You're not going to throw? He hits number 45, Bobby Harden. Watch this. Here comes Jackson. Now, here's the play. Harden's going to turn, bang, get back.
They have called for the yardsticks, and the ball was placed short of the first down. But the significance here, the Browns need 2 scores, only 2.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, what Belichick wants is he wants the team up on the ball, so that because the clock is stopped at 2:30. As soon as they mark the ball in play, snap it. See, the clock is still stopped, and that's what he wants. He wants them up on the line of scrimmage. Call the play there if you have to.
Apparently that is what Testaverde is doing.
Now they run. How long is it going to take? To 2:30.
Right now the clock is running.
Took 5 seconds.
Metcalf with the first down and some more getting inside the 10-yard line. The tackle made by Lewis Oliver. Browns trying to get up on the ball quickly once again. Clock is running. Down to 2 minutes and 10 seconds in the fourth quarter. It's a first and goal at the 9. Testaverde. And it is ruled incomplete, and a penalty marker is down. Patrick Rowe, the intended receiver, covered by Troy Vincent.
And the way Miami's reacting is against Rowe for pushing off.
There was no foul on the play. The pass was incomplete. Second down.
Well, then why did he throw the flag?
Well, the ruling, incomplete pass. Final score, Kansas City with a come-from-behind win over Cincinnati. They had a tough time, but they pull it out on that Nick Lowry field goal. And they won it 17-15 with Dave Craig at quarterback for the injured Joe Montana. So the Chiefs over the Bengals. Second and goal from the 9-yard line with 2:01 remaining, fourth quarter. Long count. Testaverde with a long look. And then throws it away, threw it out of bounds. Mark Carrier in the area, but he was well covered. Now the 2-minute warning provided. We'll be back in a moment. Well, Paul, you take a look at the quarterback injury list this season, and Dan Marino's name is added to it. It's been a very tough year. Joe Montana has had minor injuries. He's been in and out of the lineup. He missed the game today, so that's the second game he's missed. Had the bruised wrist earlier, but Montana should be okay. Chris Miller out. Randall Cunningham expected to be back by the end of the season, but he's out. Miller out for the year, and now Marino out for the rest of the season because of that torn Achilles tendon.
You know what's amazing is we look at Montana last week, Marv, and here's the guy did it running, didn't get hit, pulled a hamstring, took him out of that game for this week, and then here's Marino, and the way it looked, he just stepped up and tore his Achilles. He did it himself.
The other key injury suffered by the Dolphins, John Offerdahl, but we have not had definitive word as to how serious that is. And the Miami defense had been playing so well. Well, still to come, second part of our NBC NFL doubleheader. Jets and the Raiders will be seen in most of the country. Some of you will see San Diego and Pittsburgh, or New England and the Phoenix Cardinals. A minute 54 remaining here in the fourth quarter in Cleveland. Third down, third and goal at the 9. Dolphins lead by 10, 24-14. Testaverde to the end zone. It is broken up and picked off. Miami will take over on the deflection. Chris Allen comes up with the football. Chris Allen in his third season from Illinois, a backup defensive back, take it on the tip. The pass intended for Michael Jackson.
Well, this is, you know, here Testaverde has all the time in the world to throw the ball. And they're trying to get this ball into Michael Jackson. J.B. Brown is the guy that just reaches in with his hand, not touching from the backside. And then Chris Green gets the interception.
Right, Chris Green, I should have said, with the pick on the deflection.
But that was just outstanding defense. You know, every time we talk to coaches, when we talk about the red zone inside the 20, now here's a team that's trying to score right away and obviously want to throw the ball, but to save some time. But the one thing about it, you can't run inside the 20. You can't score.
So we're down to a minute and 40 as the Dolphins look to run it out, starting with that carry by Keith Byers. Mike Johnson involved in the tackle, and a timeout is called. Pick up a 3 for Byers. It'll be a 2nd and 7 from the 23 with a minute and 41 remaining in the 4th quarter. Right now, time for the Hager Wrinkle-Free Cotton's super play of the game.
And watch this. You see Mitchell step up and just over the defense. Martin touchdown. That's outstanding.
Scott Mitchell throwing his first NFL touchdown, taking over for Dan Marino. Got off to a shaky start. His first pass was picked off by Najee Mustafa. He ran it for 97 yards for the touchdown, but Mitchell was able to hang in and played very well. Mitchell to Tony Martin, the 2nd-string quarterback, throwing to the potential 3rd-string. Tony Martin is the emergency quarterback for the Dolphins. So undoubtedly we'll go out and look to add another quarterback to the roster this week. Again to the ground. Byers looking to run the clock down. Again, a timeout has been called. That is the final timeout for the Cleveland Browns. So another step forward for Don Shula, who following this afternoon will be 2 wins away from tying George Halas for most career victories. That's the story coming into today. George Halas with 324. Shula 321. Tom Landry. Curly Lambeau, time head man of the Green Bay Packers. Chuck Noll, 209 wins with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Down to a minute 35 remaining. Don Shula in his 31st season in the National Football League.
No more timeouts for Cleveland. 1:35. But they will get the, if they can hold him here, they will get the ball back. It's 3rd and about 2. First down would do it.
Looking ahead for the Dolphins, next week they are off. They have a bye. In 2 weeks they're home for Indianapolis. Next week Cleveland will play the Bengals in Cincinnati.
First down.
Yes, Terry Kirby picks it up, stopped by Michael Dean Perry.
And unfortunately, that bye will not help Marino or Offerdahl.
So the Browns not able to stop the clock. They will drop to a record of 3-2, and Miami will go to 4-1. Kind of a strange day for Bernie Kosar. You know, someone will pick up the box score. You'll see 15 of 19, but he was not able to get it done. Only 82 yards. And again, relieved by Vinny Testaverde. Testaverde 6 for 12, 44 yards, 1 interception. It has not been a good start for the Brown quarterback combination, as you saw.
And what did he say to us? What he and Testaverde weren't such good friends, and be unbearable here in Cleveland. You know, I wonder how they're going to treat this week up in Cleveland, because Testaverde did come back in. They did not score. You know, it really is a tough situation.
On the defense, 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You know, players always say, hey, our friendship will not be affected. But, Paul, you've seen this on a number of occasions. I'm sure both Bernie Kosar and Vinny Testaverde hope that there's no effect. But it's very difficult for things to remain the same when it comes down to a situation where you are battling for each other's job.
And you got a guy that just signed a brand new contract that's for $27 million. But that nothing guaranteed in that deal. I mean, you have to play or make the team and play in order to get it. So.
Yes, he signed that reported 7-year, $20+ million contract that was announced just recently, although they reportedly did come to terms many months ago.
It was done in February, and they waited to see what the cap was going to be. And then they decided during the bye to ink it, but it was agreed upon way back in February.
So the clock is working down. Miami Dolphins with Scott Mitchell as quarterback doing the job, able to go to 4-1 as they defeat the Cleveland Browns, who are hearing the boos from the crowd. The Browns drop to 3-2. For our producer David Deal, director Dick Klein, our statistician Elliot Cal, Marv Albert, home